Welcome, everyone, to the MMOs.com podcast, episode 182 here. Altai, joined this week by...
Remote.
All right, and what do we got on the platter today?
Well, today is actually the State of the Union, where we learn how the United States is doing from our president. So I think we should take this time to look at the state of the MMO union, the MMO market as a whole. We've talked less in the past, though, but maybe give a... What do you think, Altai? Is the state of the MMO union good? Is it falling apart?
I think we're in a period of turmoil.
Turmoil.
And we need to build a wall to keep the Chinese and Korean games out. All right.
And South Korea will pay for it, all right?
The Koreans will pay for the wall.
I like it. And make it happen, boys. But build a firewall and make South Korea pay for it, all right? Even better. Somebody, Baja resident said build a firewall. Makes sense that way, then. All right, what have you been doing this week, Altai? Anything exciting?
Well, actually, there was a very exciting news yesterday. Out of nowhere,
I like exciting.
Pretty much. EA, of all people, dropped a free-to-play PC Battle Royale. Bam, out of nowhere.
Just dropped it. They reached for it in the cupboard, in the kitchen. They were about to take it out, and then boom, just dropped. It fell. It shattered.
Just dropped it.
Dropped it.
It's got, in my opinion, a really, really bad name. But let's see what you guys think. It's called Apex Legends.
Yo, Apex is a pretty cool word. All right, I like Apex. I like the name. What are you talking? Whoa, hold on.
That's a great name. Apex Legends.
Apex Legends sounds cool. Like Legends is fine and Apex is fine. They work well together. You want to talk about?
No, it's like it sounds like a name. You need something like Apex Hero Legends. I feel like it's missing a word. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like two of the words.
I like it more than I like PlayerUnknown's Battleground. I like it more than like Fortnite
Fortnite's
or
a good name.
Ring of Elysium. What the fuck is Ring of Elysium?
No, it's good. I like Ring of
Elysium. No one knows what Ring of Elysium is. Elysium is a cool word, though. I'll give you that, but like I don't get it. I like Apex Legends.
We're missing the picture here. Anyway, so Apex Legends was supposed to be Titanfall 3, and I guess they said, you know what, screw that. Let's make a Battle Royale because it's hot right now. And actually, here's the beauty of it. EA was too afraid to announce that they canceled Titanfall 3, and we're going to make a mobile instead, because you know what the reaction would have been, right? People just bitching on forums all day. So instead,
I love bitching on forums.
They just dropped it like, bam, here you go. Here's the game. Go play. And I think it's a really good strategy. I got everyone to try it. I tried it. And apparently over 1 million people have tried it. And the concurrent peak yesterday or today was what, 600,000?
600,000. According to the Twitter post I saw by one of the analytics guys, 2.5 million people have played it with 600,000 peak concurrent users so far already, which would already put it as one of the most played games. If it was on Steam peaking at 600,000, it would be like the most played game, because right now like Dota 2 is up there with 338,000. We're not sure what the numbers are like right away, but from what I've seen through, the game looks really smooth and it looks nice. It actually looks very much like it's like a sci-fi shooter. It looks very much like the upcoming Planetside arena game.
Yeah, it's got again. As I said, I played it a few times, and it's got enough new features, and it does things pretty differently that I think it will find a really good audience. And by the way, it looks beautiful. Like compared to PUBG, it looks so dated now compared to the more recent takes here. And remember, this is free to play. Compared to PUBG, which still costs money. A few innovations here. 3-player squads, no solo. So what do you think of that?
Don't like it.
Why?
Don't like it. Because listen, people like if I want to play, can you play with 2 people or no?
Well, you can always.
No, it goes to 3.
No, it goes to 3. You get a random guy.
It auto-fills to 3 number. But here's the reality. Like when I play PUBG, when I play Ring of Elysium, all right, and like I play with a friend with just duos, or we have 3 people, right? And there's an option called Don't Fill, right? So you can play like a 4-person squad game, but you only have 3 people in your squad, right? And if I forget to hit the Don't Fill option, I get a 4th player on my team in PUBG. I'm gonna friendly fire them, or I'm gonna try. I'm gonna drop somewhere off without them. Like I don't want this guy on my team. All right, I want to play with my friend.
You're the reason MMOs are dying, Omar. See, this is the problem.
Right. This is not an MMO. Okay, this is a battle royale game.
I'm saying your mentality. This mentality.
No. That mentality doesn't apply to MMOs. I like working together in MMOs. I don't want some random douchebag in my party when I'm playing a battle royale game. All right.
A stranger is just a friend you haven't made yet.
Listen, I don't know. I don't like it.
Look, one good thing about this though is whoever has the highest rank of you 3 in your team, by default, when they jump, you jump and you auto fall with them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, your character is like locked to them. You can unlock and fall on your own.
Can the guy with the highest rating or the highest skill Like if he has the ability to friendly fire his teammates and they can't friendly fire him, I would like it then.
I don't think there's any friendly fire, to be honest. But
Oh my god, forget about it then. He's got to lead the troops, all right? And if his troops don't listen to him, he can shoot them, and they can't shoot back. I would respect that then. That'd be pretty cool.
Actually, I think it's I think one of the biggest travesties in the battle royale genre is the loss of open mic. So the battle royale games were initially built on the survival genre. So whether it's games like Rust or DayZ, and the way it used to work was you had proximity open mic chat, and I think that's going away, right?
Yeah.
I think maybe does the PUBG still have that, or have they also eliminated that?
I think it's off by default, but there might be a way to turn it back on. But the problem is when the default is so strong that like I've never turned it back on since they turned it off. You know?
Yeah. So I think it's a shame that we're kind of losing that social touch. And one of the good thing about this game, Apex Legends, is the second I loaded in, the other two people were like, "Hey, mic check, mic check. Okay, you got a mic? Lorota, you got a mic?" Like they checked right away from the beginning before we even dropped because they were eager to communicate and make strats. I think it's a great thing. I understand it makes a lot of people uncomfortable. They're just, they're like social
anxiety.
What do you call it? Hermits or something? Yeah. But you know what? Gaming is a good way to break that. You gotta practice that online, and then you there's no such thing. Oh, I'm just bad at social, whatever. That's not good enough. It's like saying I don't know how to walk. I never learned. Whoa, learn now. So it's a skill you need to have in life, and I hope games can help us learn it.
I feel like the open mic is actually a really cool feature in a lot of games, but unfortunately, it's kind of like it never really gets to the level it should be because of Discord and stuff. Because imagine you're playing PUBG, you're playing Apex Legends or any of these battle royale games. Imagine like the only way to communicate was in-game mic with an open mic. So like if you're telling your teammates, okay, he's over here, like other people can hear that, right? When you're communicating in game with your voice. So like you have to be quiet in certain situations, otherwise they can hear you. But of course, you can circumvent that with Discord and stuff. But imagine if you're playing any of these games and there's a built-in feature like if it detects you have Discord, it disables your mic on all platforms except the game. I don't think that's impossible. So if you're playing any of these games, you can only use in-game mic.
People won't like that.
But don't play. No, it would really add to the immersion, I think, because like it is so silly that you can communicate perfectly with nobody hearing you because you communicate on Discord versus in-game. I feel like it really destroys that immersion when you go for an open world, an open mic kind of feeling in a.
Well, not really. We're theory crafting pointlessly here, but
okay, I love theory crafting.
In a sci-fi style game, and this game, from the looks of it, it seems pretty sci-fi, right? You could just say in the lore, you're wearing a helmet that's soundproof, and it's got a built-in radio to your teammates. So whenever you talk, your teammates hear it from their helmets, and nobody outside can hear it because the helmet is soundproof. Boom, bada bing, bada boom. Problem solved. Gotcha.
That wouldn't work in like PUBG or anything though. Or you communicate like telepathically, technically too, or something.
Yeah, in any sci-fi-ish game, there's an easy workaround for that. Or even a fantasy game, just say magic. I'm magically communicating with you. True,
I guess you could do that, but I think it would add to the immersion.
Maybe.
But like, what's remarkable too, I think, this game is like people are looking for new games to play. Like this game came out of nowhere and it attracted 600,000 concurrent players, 2.5 million total players. It tells me like if you can make something like interesting, people are going to try it. Yeah. Like, even if it's kind of like nothing special or like anything unique, people will try new games. People want a new game to play, and that applies to more RPGs, battle royales, anything. So gaming as a whole still has so much untapped potential. It's amazing how much the battle royale genre has really like exploded. Like just this last week, I know just today actually, Electronic Arts reported their earnings, and their Battlefield 5 numbers actually disappointed quite a bit. So the stock went down a lot. And one of the reasons they said Battlefield 5 didn't do well was because they made a single player game instead of battle royale. They said all the effort that they spent making the single player mode should have been spent on the battle royale mode, and had they done that, they would have sold more copies. So like, everyone and their mother is adding battle royale to their games now. And this battle royale genre, really, it was popularized in Arma. It was a fan-made mod that PUBG kind of brought like more popularity, and since that day, it's been unstoppable. So there's still like new ideas out there, whether it's for MMOs, for FPS games, for anything. We just have to we need some more creative people working on these.
Also, I think the launch strategy here was golden, and more games should do this, even if it hurts, media sites like ours.
Just launch.
Just don't say anything till you're ready to launch. Like, there's so many games that we talk about on this podcast that have basically been in development for 3 or 4 years, and you know what? Maybe this game was in development for 3 or 4 years too. I don't know, but that's the thing. I don't know. But when I do know, and they're releasing these videos of like this pre-alpha and shit. All it does is build expectations, and you can never meet everyone's expectations, right? It's impossible, even the best game. So rather than disappoint everybody, just bang, come out with a bang, release the product, and then everyone be like, "Whoa, where did this come from? This is pretty cool. All right, it's awesome. Let's play this."
Yo, let's talk about building expectations. You looked at this video earlier, and I was actually so amazed it's been this long. So this is a video called Star Citizen Immersion. All right, this video, like when you look at this, I'm looking at this. Oh yeah, more Star Citizen nonsense, right? And I didn't look at the date till you told me to look at the date. This video came out in October of 2012. That's mind blowing.
It's like a whole internet generation ago.
This is over 6 years ago. This video came out, and if you read the comments, one of the comments was hilarious. This guy's like, "I can't wait till 2015." If you scroll down, this guy said, "Hey, I want it to be 2015 already, so I can play Star Citizen." This guy said 5 years ago, "I want it to be 2015 already. Come on, so I can play this game." Like, it's been so long. And we still don't have, Star Citizen.
I want to see the reply to this guy. So
that comes in age well. It's nuts just how much time there is in between these games.
Yeah, and I think you just kind of lose momentum, you lose enthusiasm, you lose hype, right? Over this period. And I think honestly, a lot of games should just learn from Apex Legends. Besides the name, don't name it. Don't name your game Apex
Hold on,
Legends.
Apex Legends is not that bad. Alta. I don't know why you got a boner against Apex.
We gotta straw poll this. I think it's pretty bad. It's so generic.
Maybe it's because I'm a little biased because I recently I think the new Final Fantasy 14 expansion has literally the worst name I've ever heard in my life. It's called Shadowbringers.
That's also bad. Yes.
Okay, but it's so much worse that it makes Apex Legends team godlike.
I don't know. They're both bad. Here's the problem: they're both forgettable. They're really forgettable.
Altai, hold on, Altai. Okay, here you go. The EA folks call you on your phone. We need a new name for a sci-fi battle royale game. You have 10 seconds. Go.
No. Titan Blitz.
That's not any better. Apex Legends is way cooler than Titan Blitz.
Oh, you gave me 5 seconds. What do you want me to say?
I gave you 10 seconds. You used up only 1 second. You could have thought there for another 8 seconds. And you got rid of it.
I'll think of a name and I'll let you know. But
all right, everyone in the chat, think of a name. Okay, let's say EA hired you to think of a better name for Apex Legends. All right. Canaris and Digital Dummy both said Canaris said it was okay. Digital Dummy says it's cool. I don't know. When I think of Final Fantasy 14 Shadowbringers, I'm thinking of like all these grade school or middle school kids huddled in a circle in the playground, being like, "What's the coolest word we can think of?" Like shadow, yeah, but bring the shadow. Bring down the shadows, man. Shadowbringers. I don't know.
Shadowbringers is generic. Okay?
It hurts me. It hurts me when I hear Shadowbringers.
I'm surprised by your reaction to that. I don't think it's a good name, but
I don't think any name has left that much of a cringe on me than Shadowbringers.
I'm surprised. I mean,
I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna buy it. But the name, it hurts my soul.
I'm baffled. I mean, I think it's generic. I don't like it,
it's
but like
edgy. It's dark.
I'm neutral to it. Like,
can you think of a worse name than Shadowbringers?
Apex Legends.
No, Apex. Hold on. Hold the front door here, kid. All right, who here thinks we got a straw poll?
Straw poll.
Right.
Let's go.
All right, I'm putting it down. Straw poll. What is the worst name?
Which is worse? And then put those two.
Which is worse?
Name.
Which is worse?
We have a divided audience here. Brutiful agreed with me earlier on my social thing, and now he's
great poll. Let's go.
Disagreeing on the name here.
I'm dropping the link, boys. I'm dropping the link. This is science. All right, let's go.
We can't vote. Okay.
I'm voting. You can vote whatever you want. I got.
We have the same IP. If you vote, I can't vote.
Fine. I can't vote. I'm not gonna vote. Fine. Shadowbringers is so much worse. It's not even close. Apex. Look, listen. Legends is. I'll give you that the Legends is generic, right? But the Apex is pretty cool. Apex on my list of cool words. All right, Shadow is not on that list.
Here's the problem though. Apex and Legends are both cool words, right? But you can't just have two cool words. You need like something that's cool. You can't just have cool. It's gotta be like cool, like warriors. So, you can't just have cool. Like you can't do it.
All right, looks like Shadowbringers is worse by 61 to 39% right now.
All right, we did it, boys.
All right, the scientific community has spoken. All right.
Chaos is a biased vote, all right?
Well, then you would vote for Final Fantasy 14 then, all right? Chaos, you should be voting for that. Apex is better. No, yeah, exactly. Apex Legends is better. Final Fantasy 4 Shadowbringers is the worst name. I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. So that name really throws me off.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, Apex. Why not just call it Apex? Apex sounds really cool.
That's a good name. If it was just called, "Hey, bro, you want to play Apex?" That's cool. I agree.
No, but Apex is like if you search Apex on Google, like it has other meanings maybe besides
So it's
Apex.
Fortnite. I mean, so who cares?
Not really.
Fortnite. It's
Yeah, it meant like 13 days, 8 days or something, right? I
14
don't know.
days, I think 2 weeks.
14 days. Apex myth. I got one. Here we go. Future perfect. Boom.
Ape Escape. There you go.
Wow,
Ape
just because got
Escape
ape in
Battle
it.
Royale.
I still find it crazy just how big the Battle Royale genre got. And before we, I actually want to talk a little bit about Dota Autochess, all right? Because this game has been taking the world by storm. And it goes back to a pretty big theme that we were talking about, I think, in the podcast for like about a year now, on and off, about the power of player-created maps. So show a gameplay video for Dota Autochess. It's a custom map for Dota 2. And what's remarkable is just how popular Dota 2 Autochess is. It's a player-made map. It's a tower defense of sorts. And it's been peaking at about over 100,000 players a day. In fact, I logged into right before the podcast. I just launched Dota 2 for the first time in a while, and there were 41,500 people playing Dota Autochess as of this podcast. Which, by the way, if this game was on Steam, it would be the 6th most popular game on Steam right now if it was just Dota 2 Autochess, which I think is pretty mind blowing. That a single player-made mod for Dota 2 ends up being this popular.
Yeah, I got a buddy who's played at least 400 rounds of this since it came out.
And that's probably like at least like 50 hours or more.
And he's still playing. He's still, he's still going at it. He loves it.
But this tells me that the next big thing isn't going to come from EA. It's not going to come from Activision Blizzard. It's going to come from some guy making a mod for Dota 2, for StarCraft 2, for Minecraft, for Roblox. That's where the next big idea is going to come from. There is no chance in hell the next revolutionary genre or interesting new genre will come from a big game studio. Impossible. I mean, it might be popularized by them the way, PUBG popularized the Battle Royale genre, and the way maybe like League of Legends and Dota 2 popularized. I mean, Dota 1 was actually really popular too, but League of Legends popularized MOBAs because of, Dota, and it came out from StarCraft 1's Aeon of Strife game. Like no game studio can compete with literally millions of people in their homes thinking of cool ideas on Minecraft, on Roblox, on Dota 2, and putting it together. So the next big thing, guys, is definitely going to come from there. I think whichever game can, I think Valve is really smart to add those arcade mods to Dota 2 for players to make their own maps, and that's where it's going to be amazing. It's going to be huge, I think. And this game, as well as the Tohu Avatar Dream Battle, which is also a popular map on Dota 2, shit like that proves modding is serious business, boys.
I've been asked before about, people ask about what game they should design or if they should make a game. And everyone always wants to make like a MMO RPG to start with, right? Which obviously you can't. It can't be like your first project. I always tell people, find a Warcraft 3 custom game that hasn't already been made into a standalone game. So like think Dota turned into League, right? And Dota 2. And all these tower defenses. There's so many standalone tower defenses now. Find another kind of Warcraft 3 custom game and just copy it stat for stat into a standalone game in a modern engine. And make that your first project. I think because all the design's already done for you. You just have to learn the engine on the way. But that's the best way to learn, I think, how to make a game.
Yeah, I mean, there's still so many things that have not, really, like, made it to a standalone game. There's stuff like Island Troll Tribes. There's stuff like all those different tower defense games.
The hero defense, Enfo.
Hero Line Wars and stuff. There's Enfo's Tower. There's so many different like kinds of games on Warcraft 3 and StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 that never quite made it to its own custom game. And some of those games are really like beautifully designed and really interesting. So that should be your template. But beyond that, even like just making your own game, just make a mod for, StarCraft 2, Dota 2. And that's a good place to start because like obviously, the mechanics are different. But like if you can make a popular mod, like you've made it. Like what's his name? Ice Frog is he makes the big bucks now at Valve, and he made Dota All Stars mod. A lot of and the PUBG guy who made the Player Unknown made the mod for Arma. The guy probably makes millions of dollars a year now on working for Bluehole. Miss South Street says, yeah, but okay, look, there are a lot of bad ideas as well, such as Anime Furry Wars or all these other weird mods on StarCraft and Warcraft. There's a lot of really bad maps, but there's a lot of good ones as well.
Indeed.
I still blows my mind, though, that over 100,000 players regularly play Dota Autochess. Somebody posted a screenshot with over 130,000 people playing Dota Autochess. That would put like a top 3 game on Steam if it was a standalone title. and you have games made by giant studios for like 30-40 million dollar budgets that don't get those kind of numbers. And of course, there's so many mods for Dota 2 that most of them never go anywhere. But that model.
Whoa. You roboted out. I'm lagging out here, boys. Okay, you're back. Oh, nope, you still. Uh-oh. We interrupt this message with errors. Okay, now we're good. We're back.
Indeed, we're good right now. We need to bring back boxing chess. That'd be interesting. Imagine, there we go. Let's make a new sport, boys. Combine boxing and chess, like Mistawa Stream says. All right. Basically, in between, you do like 2 minutes of boxing and then you play chess. 2 minutes of boxing and then you play chess. All right. And like you can win in multiple different ways by knockout or by checkmate in chess. All right. So obviously, as you get punched, it throws you off a little bit. So you're you make worse moves.
Well, okay. So
it was real. Okay, Mistawa, I gotta Google this.
We talked about Apex Legends and how to do a battle royale well, right? With EA, surprisingly. Now let's take a look at a game that did it poorly. Okay. We had Battlerite Royale. Okay, Battlerite was a pretty successful game. It went free to play as it promised to. But then, for some reason, they decided to launch a buy-to-play standalone battle royale version of their game, and that was a mistake. All right, so $20 for this, and it will be going free to play in 2 weeks. But you know what the problem is? It's already too late. It's a dead game. Negative reviews. There are only 60 players online, which I doubt is enough to fill a single match. Maybe it is. So this is the wrong way to do a battle royale. So
I mean, in their defense, the game's going free to play soon. I think when it goes free to play, the numbers might jump quite a bit. So I don't think you can write it off just yet.
No, I'm writing it off. Too little, too late. Maybe even if it gets like 1,000 players or 2,000 players day one of free to play, they're gonna disintegrate when there's not enough players online. Like they kind of lost the.
No. There's a chance it can explode with popular on free to play. I'm not gonna write it off just yet. But you know what game do you know what game I'm writing off now though? Because of Apex Legends. I'm writing this game off. Planetside Arena. I thought Planetside Arena would be really cool because it was Planetside 2 meets Battle Royale. But the problem is you now have Apex Legends, which is a sci-fi shooter with class elements. Because but Apex Legends like multiple different classes too. Yeah, 6 classes or something too. So it's basically a hero. And guess what Planetside Arena was too? It was kind of the same with different classes in the game too. Because all the different classes in Planetside 2 was being poured over to Planetside Arena. And they're charging you $20 for it, Well, so why would you pay $20 to play this game when you can play Apex Legends for free? The business model makes no sense, especially because Planetside 2 is free to play. So I don't know why. Like it seems to me they're dooming themselves from the get-go. Like who wants to pay $20 for a battle royale game when you can play Fortnite for free, when you can play Apex Legends for free, when you play Ring of Elysium for free? It's this is not like PUBG got away with it because it was literally the only battle royale game.
The first game.
It was the first battle royale game that became popular. There was no free alternatives. They might be maybe like a Minecraft alternative or something, but it was never that big, right? So that made sense. But once Fortnite came out as free to play, it was over. No one's gonna pay for a battle royale game anymore after Fortnite, which is crazy. There's no way this game's gonna make money. There's no chance. I would never pay $20 for this game. Like impossible. And I'm not against paying for games. Like I'll still pay for some console games I want to play and stuff. But like for a battle royale game where I know exactly what Planetside Arena will play like. I have a good idea of what Apex Legends will play like as well. And knowing what I'm getting, I'm just not going to pay $20 for this. I can't do it. But the cool part about this game too is they're going to go for like 1,000 player battle royale or something, which sounds really cool. So maybe that could differentiate it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're a little late for the cash grab by the play here. Now, the real question I think is, will Activision be forced to go free to play with their Call of Duty, at least the battle royale mode? That'd be kind of
cool. Yeah, because like I think a lot of people would play the Call of Duty mode, the Call of Duty Battle Royale if it was free to play. Like for me, I have no hype on playing it because I don't want to buy, Call of Duty. But this game has no chance. The
cool thing about Apex Legends is it's also free to play on PS4 and Xbox as well. So it is out for I don't know if it's probably out for consoles. I don't know. I don't play on consoles, but that's pretty cool. They're kind of just boom on all 3 platforms, ready to go, free to play. Did you guys try the Battle Royale for CSGO? Yes, it was awful. It was probably one of the dumber things I've done in my life.
I've played literally 1 round of CSGO Battle Royale, and I won my first round. It was with Outta and Gumby. All right, us 3 played, and I won the first game, and I never played since. I have a 100% win ratio in Counter-Strike Go Battle Royale. All right.
What was the name of the Battle Royale? It was a stupid name.
War Mode.
No.
Something. No. What was it called? Danger Zone.
Danger Zone. There you go.
There's no way it's actually Danger Zone, is it?
No,
I just made that
it
up.
is. It is Danger Zone. I think it is.
Really? Like
Yeah.
that song?
Yeah.
Is there a song, Danger Zone?
Yes. That's why it's stupid.
I'm Googling Danger Zone. No, you're right. It is Danger Zone.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Good for me.
Yeah. Good. You got it. Good job.
Oh, yeah. Planetside Arena is their battle. I mean, it's not necessarily a Battle Royale spinoff. Basically, it's really sad because I do think not just Planetside, but like a lot of games, including MMOs, Battle Royale games, FPS games, everything has gotten less ambitious in scale over the years. I feel like the original Planetside game and Planetside 2 were like these extremely ambitious 1,000+ player territory control MMO shooters, right? And then they took that and they're making Planetside Arena, which is basically taking Planetside 2 and carving it up into a deathmatch mode, capture the flag mode, free for all mode, and battle royale mode. They're adding this very generic lobby shooter modes to Planetside 2 and charging money for it. And even Battlefield, Battlefield 1942 was the first Battlefield game my brother and I played. I think it's the first one ever. Had 64 players online. No Battlefield game has more than 64 players today, over like 12 years later, or however many years it's been. Games are getting less. I mean, even Ring of Elysium has 60 player games. This how many players are in Apex Legends? 60 as well, I think.
60.
What are they doing? Why 60? That's insane.
I'm telling you.
When I play Battle Royale, I want to play at massive scale.
No, I'm telling you. I think the tech or the knowledge to make good networks went down in the last 15, 20 years. I think people got worse at that.
It's crazy. It just seems like we can't fit more than 100 players in this giant area. Come on. I mean, Rust can support up to 250 players in one server or more, but 400 actually. But yeah, the maps are massive, and Rust netcode is not the best either. But
like you said, Battlefield 1942 had 64 player games concurrently back in 2002. So.
I want to show you a little interesting slide, actually, because the EA's numbers came out today. Their stock went down to shitter. So if you hate EA, now's a great time to be celebrating because their stock is down like 20%. So,
oh yeah,
some crazy amount in market cap. They like $4 billion they lost in value just today. So what I find the most interesting on this presentation is slide number 4. Their digital bookings by platform. So you can see their console revenue, their PC revenue, their mobile revenue. Can you guess the biggest one is?
Well, I'm already looking here. So
where are you looking, boys?
Console.
Look how much bigger console is than everything else. Like poor PC. I feel like a lot of us on this podcast are PC gamers, and every time I see like the split between console and PC for these Western studios, it's really, the numbers are real low. Even I think you looked at Ubisoft before too, and Ubisoft is like 10 or 15% PC, and the rest comes from console and mobile. EA is basically looks like 80% or 70% is on console, and then you have a little bit on mobile and then a little bit on PC. Though interestingly, we talk about mobile games a lot, but it looks like EA really hasn't figured out mobile just yet. I mean, they have mobile games, but they're not very big.
No, they're not, and it's surprising. Yesterday night was the first time I've ever installed Origin, because before now I never had a reason to install Origin.
That's a lie. You played Battlefield 1 with me, didn't you? We played the beta for free.
No, I did not. You played with Chicken.
Really? Okay.
I never played Battlefield 1.
Mm-hmm.
The only other EA game I played recently that was online was Star Wars: The Old Republic, but that has its own launcher. I think you can also launch it from Origin. I did see it in there, but I always launched it from its own thing. So Origin, first time install for me was last night.
Interesting.
So that shows you how small they are in PC, because I've never had a reason to install it till now. But with that said, I think Apex Legends might change the calculus here. I think there's a good chance of taking a lot of PC players away from other mobile battle royales.
I mean, so far it's off to a great start. I don't think it's fair at all to judge it right now, because I think in a week the player base could easily be in half, or it could be a lot higher too. So remember, Realm Royale. After the first week it was huge, and then what happened? Nobody plays anymore. Royale. So I liked Realm Royale. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought that we'd be doing a lot better today. So that's one game I was completely wrong about, where it was a complete flop. But they did change a lot, but not enough to really warrant a huge decline just from those changes alone. So it's pretty crazy how quickly that game dropped off too. So it's very easy to see big numbers at first and see them, collapse shortly afterwards. And I want to talk a little about microtransactions. A fun topic, boys. I saw this post on Reddit earlier, and I thought I was mind blown at the new Black Desert Online Lootbox. So I'm sure other games have done this before, but this is the first time I've seen it. And it's a lootbox called a Matryoshka Lootbox. Okay. So the way this works is, if you can full screen that, it's almost like a it's almost like a slot machine, or this makes the gambling element so much more profound. So it looks like you can buy these loot boxes, and you start at the top, you know, and if you open your loot box, there's a 50-50 chance if you get the lucky, if you get the good 50% chance, you get the golden pouch of good fortune. If you're unlucky, you get a memory fragment times 10. So basically, the top option is always going to be the win option, and the bottom option is always the lose option. You always want to get the top option. So basically, inside the loot box, you have a 50% chance to get a better loot box. And inside that better loot box is a 50% chance to get an even better loot box. And inside that loot box is a 50% chance to get an even better loot box. And inside that loot box, there's a 50% chance to get a better loot box. And inside that loot box, there's a 50% chance to actually get the item then you guarantee to get the item you want. So there's like 4 layers of 50-50 chance to get better loot boxes. So it's almost like, obviously, they build this as you can't lose, you always win, right? But they literally label it unlucky. The memory fragment times 10 is not what you want, okay? When you get this loot box, you don't want the memory fragment times 10 or the lost penguin. You want to get the good items. You want to get that class. You want to get the golden pig blessing and the outfit box. That's what you want. So even though they label it like not gambling because you win every time, you're getting either a shit item or the item you actually want. And to get the item you actually want, you have to end up buying. Actually, they were actually pretty generous at 50-50. I really thought like they would make this even more crazy. Imagine this was like 15 levels deep instead of only 4 levels deep. They make even more money. So you have a 50% chance, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's gonna be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So I can't do math. So we're gonna do 2 by 2 by 2.
While you're doing that, Mark, I have a screenshot of actually what the loot boxes look like. Have you seen them?
No, it's 1 in 16 chance. So on average, you'd open 16 loot boxes.
This is a screenshot I took when I was playing, and it's a really cool idea for a loot box system.
Let's take a look. There's no way. These are the Babushka dolls. I like it, all right? But this is actually what I was thinking of too when I saw the name, right? The name of the loot box. Doesn't that name of the loot box remind you of like a Babushka doll?
Yeah.
That's actually what it is though, because inside the loot box, another loot box, another loot box. What's crazy is like they're gonna make a lot of money off it, right? But like what's crazy is imagine they had this like 20 levels deep, where it was like 1 in 3 million chance to get to like the bottom of like the best loot box. I think people would buy it.
I think so. I think there's gonna be like a sense of like a race. Like, okay, you got halfway this time without falling. So now, next time you do, you get further. Like people will keep going until they get to the end. They'll keep buying more and more of them.
What's crazy is too. I mean, this kind of goes back to the discussion last week about gambling, where I read a comment on our podcast last week where people a lot of people actually enjoyed our conversation about gambling, right? And one guy made a comment saying basically, this is why like I hate gambling and I hate casinos and people that like advertise that peddle in casinos. And I thought about that for a second. I'm like, I was gonna respond to this guy like, shouldn't it be the player's responsibility, the person's responsibility to understand math and not fall for it? But then I thought like, it does feel like these loot boxes and gambling as a whole almost feel like, is it really any different than like heroin or some kind of addiction where, you know, like people do get, is gambling addiction like, it's a real thing, right? They get a certain high from gambling. It's not dependent on a physical substance. I get that, right? But there's still an addiction there.
I think for whatever reason, Omar, you and I were inoculated at a young age. We were exposed to enough gambling, like in games, but it wasn't so prevalent when we were young that we kind of like found a balance. So, but I think if you're like a 21-year-old guy who's never gambled and you just start earning money and you play one of these mobile games, I really think for you it'll be like an addiction.
Because it does feel like think of it this way, like imagine Final Fantasy 14, right? I'm advertising my casino, right? To somebody who's never like thought about gambling, right? Like, can I use the right string of words to get this guy to play my casino, even if he has no intention of doing it? Like a certain number of people will just read my message and just try it for fun, right? It seems harmless enough, right? Like it does seem harmless to try a casino in a game, and there's a non-zero chance that guy is going to be addicted. It almost feels like you walking up to people, injecting heroin into their bloodstream, and then like some of them will get addicted, some people will not, right? And then like you blame them for being addicted.
Well, I got a better analogy, I think, but that doesn't involve heroin. But it's probably not PC either, though. Okay, so imagine, Omar, we grew up in we're ethnically Turkish, right? And a lot of our viewers are probably from Europe, whether directly or indirectly, and our ancestors drank alcohol at meal times, you know, wine, beer. So if somebody offers someone a beer, you know, they drink it, no big deal, right? But when the Europeans came to America, they offered these Indians who never had beer before alcohol, and they went nuts because, you know, their tolerance was so low, and they handled it poorly because they weren't innocuous. They didn't have it gradually the way we did. So I think gambling is the same way. If you don't learn at an early age, there's risk and reward. There's law you can lose. You're gonna lose in the long run. So don't gamble more than you can lose. If you don't learn these lessons, one way or another, I think when you're older and actually have money, I think you're gonna get addicted. So I think the answer is not maybe to ban them, but to teach kids younger. Even at school, you can have like little experiments with the kids. Like, okay, do you want like one piece of candy, or do you want to flip a coin for 3 pieces or whatever? You know?
Real talk. Everyone's gonna flip the coin.
But then learn it. Fine, get it out of their system early.
I'll tell you, I think your system is going to turn all our kids into gambling addicts. All right, imagine all right. Let's say you run your experiment, right? You get guaranteed 2 pieces of candy, or if you flip a coin and you call it correctly, you get 3 pieces of candy, right? It's obviously not mathematically worth, but those kids that took the chance and won, they're gonna be like, fuck yeah, time to gamble for the rest of my life. All right, the kids that lost,
no,
they'll be like, fuck gambling.
No, even if they win, if they keep playing the game every day for like a year or 2 or 3, I think eventually they're gonna learn it's a losing proposition.
But that's like saying the people that like make sports bets every day are going to realize it's a losing proposition, but they don't. They keep gambling all the time. My customers of Final Fantasy 14 gambled every single day till they lost all their money. But are they going to learn? That's the question.
That's the thing. Not. So Donut just said, okay, so you got with my thing, you got to teach them the odds. You got to teach them what's happening. Like, do you know why you won the first time, but you lost, over the course of the week or the year? It's because this is the ratios, right? I think these people making sports bets, like this, like blue collar guy who just blows his money at the bar, and I don't think he gets the math. I think he just throwing money around, like, the Knicks, they're great.
They're great.
He doesn't know what's going on because no one taught him.
Maybe, but I also feel like a lot of people view gambling very like weird. Or I guess it goes back to nobody's knowledge. People don't understand math very well. People will be like, okay, there's only 2 probabilities. Either I win or I lose, 50-50. Even if the probabilities are not equally weighted, right? But to a lot of people, it's 50-50. You either win or you lose. There's nothing else to think about. But obviously, the losing is higher than 50%. But what I was trying to say earlier, it does seem like I feel like if I advertise my casino in a game, or if gambling is advertised via loot boxes in game, or in any method of loot boxes, gambling, if that's advertised, a certain number of players will just try it and develop, almost through no fault of their own, develop some kind of addiction to it. Not everyone, obviously. So I almost feel like I could even understand a logic for banning it to a degree. Because those, like, obviously people that are advertising loot boxes, like, remember, when they show you the loot boxes in game, mobile games, saying, like, open the fairy loot box, the colors are designed to, like, get you to click on it, the animations, everything. Like, it's always, when I play a mobile game for the first time, when I played Epic 7, when I played Fake Grand Order, when I played any mobile, when I watched you play Destiny Child, the way the loot boxes opened were always so extravagant and like slightly different. Like, there is a real science to the way the colors glow on your phone when you open a loot box, or when you draw for a waifu or anything. It's so specific.
I think, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, Mar. So, from my experience, whether it's gaming or real life casinos, there are a large number of people who really think they can control the outcome.
That's true.
So even when they're doing a loot box, they're like, "Come on!" Like, what are you doing? Like, nothing you say or shake or intently stare at the screen changes the odds. Just go take a piss while it's opening. Like, it shouldn't matter, right? But it does to a lot. And the same with a real life casino. I think I've met people who really think they can like control the dice rolls. Like, they're like, "Oh, he rolls better than me. Like, he's a good roller. He's a bad roller." I'm like, "Are you guys insane? Like, what are you talking about?"
But that's a reality, because I mean, this actually happens way more than you guys would think. I know Canary said he never stepped foot inside a casino, but like, my brother and I live in Las Vegas, and we've gambled here when we have like guests over and friends and stuff, right? And when I'm playing craps, it's a game, like, there's like 10 people at the table, and they take turns rolling some dice, and some rolls are good, some are bad. And the way, like, I would say 95% of people, what they do is they don't just pick up the dice and they roll. They'll look at the dice. They'll have 8 dice in front of them. They take 2 dice and then roll them. But before they roll the dice, some players will take 2 dice and they would roll it like backwards into like their back wall. So it doesn't count as a roll until they roll it across the table. And they'd roll it like 6 times to see if they get a certain pattern. Okay, get like those 7s out of the way. And once those are out of the way, then I'm going to roll. And some people like stack, like, almost everyone, nobody just grabs the dice and rolls. What they do is they'll flip the dice to like a 5 and a 6 to make an 11 showing. And then they'll roll it in a very specific way, like to be a high angle shot. Of course, none of that shit matters, but everyone does it. The only people that don't do that are my brother and me. We just grab the goddamn dice and we just roll the dice without thinking about it. but almost everyone is doing these weird things. They all have their own rituals before they roll the dice. And this is so common, and it's so bizarre to me. And even people like my father, my father's friends, people I know that, my friend, they all do it, which is so weird.
And did you win? See, we lost overall, so maybe we're doing it wrong, Omar.
Maybe we should have been doing it like that, I guess. I don't know. But I just roll the dice. I don't think. And some people they'll roll the dice, and the dice falls off the table, and then they'll be like, I want the same dice. Give me that dice back. And some people will be like, okay, the dice fell off the table, so take all my bets off for this roll. This roll doesn't count for me. Take my money down. And then they'll think it cursed the dice or something, and it's the weirdest thing. Gambling superstitions are absurd, but they're so prevalent.
Anyway, I forgot if you mentioned this last week, but you were telling me how people who play your casino, when sometimes they'll go off screen and do /roll in the ether. So explain that again.
So basically, in my Final Fantasy 14 casino, one funny thing I've noticed, some superstition I've noticed, is basically in Final Fantasy 14 when you type /random, you get a random roll between 0 and 999. So in my casino, you have to roll 590 or higher to win. Okay, so what happens is players will be playing with me, right? They'll make a bet, they'll roll, they'll win or lose, and once they win or lose, they'll run off the screen, and they'll go to some corner of the map where I won't see them, and they'll type /random like 100 times on their own, where nobody else can find them, and they're looking at the pattern of RNG, where they're gonna wait till they lose 8 times in a row, and then they'll come back to me thinking, okay, I just lost 8 times in a row. If I would have bet on off screen, so I'm gonna bet a huge amount of money this time because you can't lose 9 times in a row. And of course, it's 50-50. None of those previous rolls mean anything. But this was so common. I've seen it an unbelievable amount of times. Some players wouldn't run off screen; they would do it right then and there. Like they make a bet, win or lose. Then they'll type /random like 100 times till they find the right pattern of random rolls, and then they'll bet again. It was the weirdest thing, but it happened all the time.
There you go.
So people believe it and everything. The people just don't understand math. So I think all of this. I guess the biggest issue here is people do need to understand the math. They should understand how much profit the casinos are making, be able to calculate odds, but I don't think people can do that.
There's a fairy that writes down all the rolls and ensures the average is always 500.
but the character Royale, I think people actually believe that. People must believe it because they keep doing it. Like, it makes no sense. One guy, I've had multiple people ask me, like, can I double my bet every single time so I'm guaranteed to win? I'm like, yeah, if you want, you can do that, bro. I've had multiple people think that if they keep doubling their bet if they lose, they're guaranteed to win. Like, how dumb do you have to be to not understand that just increasing your bet doesn't give you an edge? Like, my 10% house edge applies whether you bet 1 gold or you bet 10 million gold. So doubling every single time does not give you any kind of secret sauce. And they asked me if I'm allowed to do that. They thought oh, he wouldn't allow it. That's cheating. No, it's not cheating, you fucking retard. Please, be my guest. The more you bet, the happier I am. But no, people did that all. It was gamblers are the weirdest people. I don't know.
I think it's a good IQ test. Just if you're a gambler, and you say stuff like you just are not an intelligent person.
No, definitely not. I don't want to insult my customers, but yeah, they were definitely many of them were not intelligent.
Do you think the guy, the Indian guy who owns a 7-Eleven, judges the people that come in to buy cigarettes and those corn dogs that are rotating?
The corn dogs are fine. They don't judge the corn dogs.
Those corn dogs ain't fine. Let me tell you.
Those corn dogs at 7-Eleven are definitely not bad. All right, but listen.
Are you kidding me?
If a guy walks in and buys $300 worth of scratch cards, yeah, he's gonna be judged. All right.
Yeah, let me get a pile of scratch cards, 2 packs of cigarettes, this Red Bull, and 2 of those corn dogs.
I imagine the people that fill out their own lottery tickets, because if you do a Mega Millions, Pick Six, or Powerball, every time I've done those personally, I just get computer generated random numbers, right? But some people pick the numbers themselves, thinking they can choose their lucky numbers. If you do that, that's an IQ test. You're a moron. Don't do that.
Lucky numbers.
All right. I was gonna bring up something else, but it completely slipped my mind.
Uh-oh.
It was a good one.
I got a number story for you. So we were speculating for the past few weeks on who is going to end up buying Nexon. And we have a new entry into the arena this week, and that is Netmarble. Netmarble wants to buy, or is trying to buy up Nexon. I'm surprised it escaped our shortlist, but it makes sense, right? It's a Korean company.
Yeah, they have a lot of money too. Netmarble's huge.
And they're actually 17.66% owned by Tencent already. So maybe this is a way for Tencent to buy it without provoking, nationalist ire. Because the Korean government said they were wary to lose their tech companies to foreign companies. So this might be a good way around that.
That makes sense. I think we hear some news about who's ending up buying Nexon real soon, and Jagex as well. And we talked about Jagex last week, and I think they're gonna make a lot of money because I forgot how we get a good benchmark for how much money CCP sold for with EVE Online with what their revenues were. I think if CCP got bought for like 400 million, which is what I remember, I think Jagex will sell for a lot more than 400 million. I think Jagex and RuneScape are. If you look at the player base of EVE Online, the concurrent players is not really that high. It's like 30,000, right, at peaks or something. Let me look at there's a website for it. EVE Offline Tranquility. Number of players online looks to be, the average is like 20. There's 21,000 online. The average is 23,000. If you look at OSRS, the concurrent player base is 111,000 right now. The player base on RuneScape is like 4 times higher than the player base of EVE Online. Obviously, EVE Online monetizes better because it's a subscription-based game. But I think RuneScape Jagex will sell for like $800 million or maybe even more with how successful it's been over the last few years.
We'll see. That's a good benchmark, I think. How many bots? Well, the thing is, EVE also has a big bot problem and a multiple account problem. I know people with like a dozen EVE accounts. They just run them all at once.
Yeah. All right, totally forgot what I was going to say earlier. It was something spicy, but that's like the worst feeling in the world, where you just have this thing you want to say and it just escapes you, and for the life of you, you can't think of it again.
Well, I got a wholesome crowdfunding story.
All right, I like it. We talk a lot of shit about crowdfunding. Let's hear the wholesome one.
Okay, so this guy started on Kickstarter. Then after he launched, he had a Patreon to support the game. And now, well, first let me show you the game here. So this guy, he says the game is doing well now. Okay, it's making money. So he's going to stop. He's going to close his Patreon because the game is making enough money now. I don't really need Patreon. But not only that, not only is he closing his Patreon, but he said he's going to refund everybody twice whatever their lifetime Patreon contribution was. So let's say you had like a $1 a month Patreon account with him, and you gave him like $6, right? 6 months. He's going to give you back $12. So his Patreon actually ended up being an investment, probably a good investment. Double your money. That's, those are usually scams, right? Double your money online. But that's pretty cool.
That's a wholesome story. We've talked a lot about like a Kickstarter, Patreon, like these bullshit products. But this is a guy who made a lot of money with his project that he feels good enough about it to return all the Patreon money he's gotten and then give them a bit of a profit. That's almost unheard of. So good for that guy. I have a lot of respect for that guy as well. Much love for. Can we see his game? Yeah,
I'm showing it right now. Here, I'll link it.
Cool.
I think it's on sale right now, $5, and if it kind of plays like those old DOS or old PC strategy games, like planning, like city planning. Yeah,
it looks cool. Good for him, though. Good for him.
Yeah, it's a wholesome story. Usually we trash Patreons and Kickstarters and crowdfunding here, but there are a few diamonds in the pile of poop.
Few diamonds in the pile of poop. While we're talking about wholesome, let's talk about another wholesome story, Altai. One more wholesome story for the road. This is one we didn't mention last week because I forgot it. We got very heated. We invested in our conversation about gambling, but I thought this was really cool. Let's see if I can find this post over here. So apparently back in 2018, okay? In 2018, there was a wave of bans for Guild Wars 2, right? And this one guy got banned in Guild Wars 2, and he insisted he did nothing wrong. Okay, obviously we've all heard this before. I got banned. I swear I did nothing wrong, right? And he basically went back and forth with the devs for a long time, and they wouldn't tell him what he did wrong, and his account was permanently banned. However, he lived in Europe, and Europe passed something called the GDPR, something we talked about I think a few months ago, about the general data protection or something for users. And he invoked his GDPR rights to ask Guild Wars 2, ArenaNet, for data pertaining to when he got banned, right? And through a long process of going back and forth for months, he eventually got ArenaNet to comply. He had to give him he had to show like his passport, his ID. He had to go through a lot of hoops, and he got the logs of when he got banned in the game. And the reason he got banned was because there was an MD5 hash for a program he was running in the background. And the MD5 hash he was running, you could see on that post. It's a long string of digits over here. And that MD5 hash actually doesn't make any sense because that is the hash you get on any empty nothing character. So I think if you have a Notepad document with just nothing in it, it would register with that hash. It's a null hash where there's basically nothing running. It's by no means a cheat at all. So he was incorrectly identified, and he had proof from their own GDPR logs that they banned him for literally nothing. And then once that got out, and he posted this story on Reddit, he got unbanned, and they apologized to him. And this never would have happened if it wasn't for GDPR. They would just ban this guy and not even looked at it again. And because of GDPR, because of that EU law, something wholesome came out of it. That this Guild Wars 2 guy got his account unbanned.
That's a great story, and it kind of highlights why we need laws like this. And I know back then we argued about our position on this law, but there are so many cases where you're so small as an individual in these big companies that even if they ban you by mistake, and
they don't care.
They have every incentive to unban you if you're like a paying customer, but you're such a small piece of the pie that the effort it takes to look into your case isn't worth it for them. So they'd rather just
and they don't want to set a precedent for looking into everyone's cases. They don't want to deal with that bullshit.
Yeah.
But this guy was dedicated. He went back and forth for months to try getting his account back. And he said even like he had to write lengthy letters to the data protection officers because apparently you cannot communicate directly with ArenaNet when you go through GDPR. You have to connect with a data protection officer for the EU, and he has to communicate with ArenaNet on your behalf. So it's a very lengthy process he had to go through. But after the end, he finally did it. He got his account unbanned.
That's great, and I hope as this stuff gets more established, it becomes more automated, right? Where the systems are in place that you can always view your logs, and that way you can kind of go through it with somebody. You can go through it, and if they banned you unfairly or did something unfairly, it's really easy to prove.
He got also $25 worth of in-game gems. I feel like if you ban somebody for like a year, you should give this guy a little more than $25 worth of gems.
That's a
they gave him $25 for like, we're sorry we accidentally banned you for like the stupidest reason ever for like over a year. But here's $25. Come on, don't give him anything if you're gonna give him $25.
Here's a gift card,
$25 though. Come on, dude.
The John Wick of MMO games. That's a good one. Yeah.
That reminds me of that story you shared at dinner, mate. That's lunch earlier today, but that is most definitely a post-game story.
Indeed.
But before we get there, there's one thing I want to talk about, which I thought was hilarious, because I was looking at my favorite game company, my favorite game, 300 Heroes, recently.
Yes.
So we talk. My brother and I have been working on something on 300 Heroes for a bit, but before that, just 300 Heroes is a 7v7 MOBA that rips off characters from like every which way you can. It's basically a League of Legends clone that has characters from Disney, like it has Wally from Disney. It has Pokemon. It has like all the popular anime characters from Naruto to Bleach to Steins Gate to all these popular anime characters they stole. Obviously, massive copyright infringement in a box, right? It is actually the most. I've never seen a Chinese game infringe on more copyrights than this 300 Heroes game, actually. And I was looking at the company that made 300 Heroes out of curiosity. Okay, it's a company called Jump World. Okay, so on their official website, if you Google Translate the corporate website where they talk about like their corporate culture, what kind of company they are, there is a line over there which I thought was completely hilarious. So the line is I'm gonna read out loud to you again. This game copies everything. They have no respect for copyrights. They copy Nintendo. They copy every major anime character, every Nintendo character, Sony character. They have characters from everywhere. Over 90% of their playable characters are just stolen from other games. So they say, we insist on innovation, eliminating plagiarism, and becoming the most creative Chinese game company in the world. They insist on innovation and eliminating plagiarism. They insist on it. This entire game is not insisting on eliminating plagiarism. This entire game is literally ripping off copyright from everything else. They have the audacity to write on their corporate page that they insist on innovation and come on! Like, who are they fooling?
Spoiler alert, this was also plagiarized from another company site.
Yeah, I think so too. Baja Resin, 100%. So what they probably did was they went to another corporate website for a different game company, and they just copied and pasted like something similar. So they definitely copied it because they don't mean it, obviously. But the most remarkable thing about this company is that they're actually trying to go public in the United States. They're trying to raise money from American investors, and they're trying to list on the NASDAQ stock exchange. So to see a Chinese company that rips off every copyright trying to raise money from American investors is actually one of the funniest things I've seen. And it's actually a really interesting story that my brother and I are working on. We're writing a report right now together on exposing this, because most of the people that follow this, the financial media and people that cover IPOs, they don't know shit about this game, and they don't realize that this Throne of Heroes game is a pure copyright knockoff nonsense. So my brother and I are working on an interesting report, which will be live probably in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and then we're also gonna forward it to the government, the SEC, and hopefully get these guys in some trouble.
Kicked off the American exchange. So it's a fun story that we've been working on. But it blew me away that the guys that make 300 Heroes were trying to raise money from American investors. You can't do that. It's like, imagine like some guy in Canal Street which sells fake Louis Vuitton bags is trying to like list on the New York Stock Exchange. No, you can't do that, buddy. That ain't legal. And that's essentially what they're trying to do, which I thought was pretty hilarious.
It is funny, and I think they are making a mistake by going into the limelight. I think they should just stay in China, make money where no one cares, you know. But by exposing themselves to the American system, I think it's going to be a mistake for them.
Is the game fun? Yeah, I think the game is really fun. Actually, Toxic. I've played this game for hours. It's hilarious. It's just basically legal. It's a 7 vs 7 League of Legends style game, but with like heroes from your favorite animes, video games, and whatnot. It's actually a fun game because it's not balanced. There's like no sense of balance. Like there are just heroes that are OP as fuck, and heroes that are just unplayably bad. And it's a nice mix, you know. Sometimes you get an unplayable character, sometimes you play an OP character. You know, you get a little bit of both. It's actually I had a lot of fun playing it.
Is this the MOBA where you can revive with real cash? No, that's a different one.
That's a different Chinese MOBA.
That also looks like League. So I can see why you got them confused. This is the one where you can play as Yugi Moto, Wally from the Disney movie.
Even the character I'm playing is from a popular anime, but I forgot the name. And you can see other characters. I see a character from Full Metal Alchemist in the background over there. I see a character from looks like Fate. It's a fun game though. I recommend playing it. It's quite the meme.
Yeah, you can fight Goku.
Goku's in there. Yeah.
For me, the most bizarre thing is why they decided to go with 7v7. I mean, they copied literally everything else. Why not copy 5v5? Like, listen,
they're all about insisting on innovation. All right, their innovation is 7 vs 7. Goku is in there, Toxic Snippet. You can play Goku.
Yep.
Actually, let me link you the wiki in case you're curious on all the heroes you can play. Just because take a look, I'm dropping the link in the Twitch chat. You can play all those characters. You can play Kana. All right, the Lily Dragon Girl. There's a lot of characters.
A lot of these I don't know because I guess they're from like Chinese or Japanese.
There's a few of them from just some Chinese like folklore, I think, but like a lot of them are from anime and video games.
Yeah, a lot of One Piece characters have made the cut.
A lot of Tuga characters are in there too. There's Aqua from Konosuba. You know her. There's a lot of characters I do recognize. I recognize. I'm gonna say 70% of these.
Sephiroth, nice. I know that. Oh, I like Axe. They use like the old Warcraft 3 avatar for him.
There's Anti-Mage too.
Portrait.
They could even it's not Illidan, it's Anti-Mage.
Death Knight, Anti-Mage.
Instead of Priestess of the Moon, they call it Princess of the Moon. It's for Dota 2. They literally just I guess maybe they mistranslated it to Princess of the Moon. But the same abilities. In fact, the icons of the abilities are identical. Like I looked at it in Twitch chat. Like look at these abilities. Instead of Starfall, it's like Starstorm, Sacred Arrow. Those are like the exact like Warcraft 3 abilities. At least look at Moonlight again. Yeah,
at least they kind of cheapified the portrait for her. If you look at like Wally or Anti-Mage, they literally just cropped this from the official website.
Yeah, I know.
They didn't even bother changing it.
No, because what they did, they didn't make this. They just stole fan art probably. Because I've seen like fan art for these characters used in game instead of official art sometimes. But usually they just crop the official art and they use that instead.
Nice.
There's Magician Girl. Maybe she's supposed to be Dark Magician Girl. I don't know, but she's just Magician Girl. Yeah, she has this skin called Black Magician Girl.
They have Food Ninja. Is this from the mobile game?
Yeah, it might be. This game is dope though, right? This game is fun. If you want to play a meme Chinese game, I strongly recommend 300 Heroes. All right. Game is A+, boys.
Yeah, a lot of interesting characters here.
You got anything else? I do want to talk about that fun story you shared on the post game.
I got a few quick updates. So
yeah,
Machinima actually shut down. I think last week or 2 weeks ago we talked about how they put all the videos as private. But now they did go ahead and just shut the whole thing down. So no more Machinima. All the videos are gone.
Rest in pepperoni.
If you used to watch that stuff. And we had a new. That's about it. There's no big stories besides that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's it for this week then. We have a fun little discussion in the post game.
Okay.
Not too much happened this week, but we'll see you guys next week and to the post game.
To the post game.
to the post game.